So we heard the claims and counterclaims in Parliament today about a very important issue, but did we get our answers? After weeks of sloganeering, shouting, ruckus and disruption, Parliament finally did see a debate on one of the most important and pressing issues of our time, inflation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman responded to the opposition criticism and questions on the Bloomberg and Deloitte, and liberally quoted former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan to essentially make this point, that India is better off than others. We have seen high government done enough to secure us and the weakest among us, financially weakest among us. To speak on this, I'm joined now by Milind Kanade, BJP spokesperson, and Dr. Shama Mohammed, national spokesperson from the Congress. Ajit Pai, economic strategist, is also joining us on the show. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Milind ji, let me begin with your take. Do you think enough of an answer has been given? Because the question isn't, are others doing as badly? The question is, what are we doing to help our people?
At the outset, I would like to make it very clear that this is a continuous process. The central governance is working desperately on that. The Honorable Finance Minister has put all the things in line with this injunction in the fierce debate as you are showing in the Lok Sabha itself. She has clarified to the last extent. And I understand this is the beginning. And the Monetary Policy Committee would be meeting. This government would undertake whatever things are required, either by way of MPC or by way of any fiscal resources or any taxation matters which may come forward in the coming budget, the union budget. So I feel the governance is taking due care, and we are faring much better than our neighboring countries. You have already shown that picture, that schematic representation you have shown, and we are faring much better than our neighbors. And I feel
you're not answering my question. You ask someone who's suffering from inflation and tell them Sri Lanka mein to 54%, do they care? They care about their budget. That's my point.
I request you to come again, please.
If you ask someone who's suffering from inflation and you tell them that don't worry, it's worse in Sri Lanka, do they care? They care about what's happening to their budget, to their pocket. Is it enough to say that?
Yes, we are very much concerned about our common people, and we are working on that. The BJP governance at central, at the NDLA governance at central is trying its hard to tame the inflation, and we are trying our level best. You can observe that palm oil, due to the import of oils, the rise of price rise observed in case of oil, it is mitigating, it is stemming down. The fuel prices are coming down. Yes, vegetable prices have definitely been increased, but they would be coming soon. They would be they would be coming at a normal level. Due to heavy monsoon, the onset of monsoon in number of...
Shama Mohammed, essentially, and we heard from the finance minister.
Go out and see. That is a question. We subsidize from 420 to above 1,000.
Okay,
why is the gas
Milind Kanade, I will allow you to respond very quickly to the points that she has made. Not enough has been done. Yes. The point essentially is not enough has been done.
Honorable co-panelists, it appears that these people have lost connect with the common man. Common man doesn't consume the packaged food at all. The packaged food is being consumed by the people who afford it.
No, that's not true.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. I want to place some facts here on what changed. 1 minute. 1 minute. You know, the problem is that people have to come prepared with facts when they want to debate issues. 1 minute. Milinji, let me just tell you and the viewers what has changed. Earlier, the 5% was...
Yes, Milind. You want to take the poor back? I mean, you don't want hygiene instilled in them?
Okay, 1 minute. Yes, Milind.
I mean, it's just not fair on them.
1 minute. Let him answer.
Also, just by what is...
Let him answer. Shamaji, let him answer. Yes, Milindji.
I'm coming to it. Canons of taxation say the people, the taxpayer who has the ability to pay should be taxed. That might be the point. Because the people who can afford the packaged goods are going to pay the 5% of tax. The people who don't afford the packaged food grains, they would consume it from the other resources. So those people would not be taxed. But the point which I was putting forth is that the people, the common people, the last person in the queue, the people who can afford, those people are not being taxed. And these taxation are the rate of tax which has been decided. It is decided in the GST Council, which is being represented by all state governments across India. And most of the state governments have accepted this proposal. And this proposal has been put forward by the people, by the state government, which are not BJP-led governments. These proposals had been put forward by the other than, and you can definitely go
on that point, because all of these claims and counterclaims have been replied today. Shama Mohammed, on the point that the decisions in the GST Council, and that's what the finance minister has said today, she says it was made by consensus. This includes finance ministers of states which are ruled by the opposition and your party.
Okay, so
goods at a time when inflation is hitting the poorest of the poor is just cruel.
I am going to leave the debate because Tamanna Inamdar is insulting the Congress spokesperson. Thank you very much. I'm leaving the debate.
I don't know why you're saying that, but let me come to Ajit Pai. He's been sitting quietly for 17 minutes. Doesn't he have a right to speak?
Spokesperson of a party.
Doesn't he have a right to speak? Doesn't the expert I've called have a right to speak? Okay, Mr. Pai, let me come to that simple question of yours, of mine, that 5%, is that how that 7% will hit an average Indian versus how, you know, a 40-year high in the US will hit an average American? We have a larger number of poorer kids. We're not talking about investors today. We're talking about the common man. And Milind, my question to you is that in that entire speech, and I said it was over a 98-minute speech, the finance minister was, of course, coming in from this political point of view of rebutting everything which was said. Was there enough empathy shown for what people are actually going through? What I heard in that speech was her saying, yes, there's inflation. We're not denying there's inflation, but we're doing something about it. Are you recognizing, as the ruling party, what is actually happening to people? Or are we just trying to score points here?
No. This is not a thing or any point to score anything. This is the thing that we have to take care of the poorest among the poor people. Yes, we do understand the political party is very much aware of the things which are being undertaken to reduce the impact of inflation. Yes, we understand that inflation is definitely a curse, but this inflation and the employment we have to balance. As a governance, we have to look into both the aspect, the inflation and at the same time the employment. Mr. Ajit Pai would accept that if there is a bit of inflation, we have to take it with a pinch of salt.
No, what are you doing about employment? Mr. Milind,
yes.
How are you taking care of employment?
Yes, correct. I'm coming to it. For generating employment, funds are being invested in the infrastructure. We are putting up the infrastructure, thereby we are trying to generate the employment. By infusing the amounts in the infrastructure.
That strategy has led to years of jobless growth. That's the bane of the Indian economy. That we keep trying to invest in infrastructure and we have growth, but it's jobless growth.
Payback period of any infrastructure project is a long-term duration. And we have to keep that much of patience that once the roads are developed, better transportation facilities are being available, infrastructure is in place, telecommunication infrastructure, road infrastructure, these things are being put into place. And that would require some time. I request to have patience.
Is there time? My point is, as the finance minister said, these are unprecedented situations, right? We've had 3 COVID waves, we've had a global war. Can we, have a business as usual approach when it comes to cushioning the poorest of the poor? Right now, the biggest September 2022, that also shows that how vulnerable this section is. Clearly, we need to do more. We need to talk about the facts and not just the politics surrounding this. I want to end it at that, but I want to thank all of you. And I want to thank Shama Mohammed also for the duration that she was on the show. But as we discussed,